Welcome. So, I want you to start by just taking a slow, deep breath, really. Because today, we aren't just going to look at dry data or abstract theories. We're diving into something deeply personal. We all hit those moments where the world just feels overwhelmingly exhausting, where that warm, cinematic, golden hour we see in movies feels like, well, a million miles away from our actual reality. So, this explainer is designed to be a gentle guide to help navigate those exact heavy moments, using a really simple yet profoundly impactful framework. Let's get right into it.
Sometimes life feels heavy, like everything is falling apart. It's a very visceral feeling, isn't it? Imagine just sitting alone by a window, staring out, and feeling this massive, isolating weight on your shoulders. It's that quiet, heavy loneliness that creeps in the second the noise of the day fades away. I mean, we've all been in that empty room, looking down, feeling like the very foundation is just cracking beneath us.
And, well, what do we naturally do in those moments? We panic. You try to fix everything, you try to understand everything, but absolutely nothing feels like it's enough. We get totally trapped in this exhausting cycle of overthinking. You know the feeling: sleepless nights staring blankly at the ceiling, endlessly scrolling on your phone, desperately trying to regain control of a situation that is literally slipping right through your fingers. You're just pouring all your energy into a void.
Which inevitably leads us right here. The struggle just deepens. You start questioning yourself, your choices, your worth. It's like you're walking slowly, head down, while the rest of the world just rushes by, completely ignoring you. You feel incredibly stuck. You start wondering if you made a wrong turn somewhere, or honestly, worse, if you simply aren't enough. But look, you really don't have to stay in this heavy place. Imagine the sun just slowly breaking through those clouds. Because there is this beautiful piece of wisdom, often rooted in really profound Eastern philosophy, that tells us life becomes simple only when you learn what to accept, what to change, and what to let go. It's a total paradigm shift. This one single line brilliantly divides the chaotic complexity of life into three distinct, completely manageable paths. Let's break this down. First up, the power to accept. Our default setting as humans is to just fight reality whenever we don't like it, right? But true peace requires embracing the things that are completely beyond your control. You absolutely cannot change your past mistakes. You can't change other people's fundamental nature. And you certainly cannot change situations that you were just forced into without your consent. Fighting these unchangeable realities doesn't magically fix them. Honestly, it only increases your suffering. Sometimes you literally just have to look up, take a deep breath, and say, okay, this is exactly how it is.
Which brings us to the second path, the power to change. Now, acceptance isn't about just giving up. Not at all. It's about clearing the board so you can actually focus on where your true power lies. Your habits, your reactions, your effort, your mindset. These things are entirely within your control. This is where you get to roll up your sleeves, taking small actions like, changing how you study, going for a walk, putting in honest work, or simply trying again with a better mindset. This is exactly where your growth begins. You're shifting your energy away from the things you can't touch, directly to the things you hold right in your own hands.
And finally, the third piece of the puzzle, the power to let go. The absolute crucial point here is knowing when holding on is actually doing you more harm than good. Toxic relationships, unrealistic expectations, crushing regret and guilt, and that totally exhausting need for everyone's approval. Listen, these things are no longer meant for you. Holding onto them is literally like carrying heavy stones in your pockets while you're trying to swim. It just keeps you stuck. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about walking away peacefully. Maybe it's deleting old messages or simply releasing the grip these things have on your heart.
Let's ground this with some real-life examples to see how it actually plays out. Okay, imagine a student failing an exam. If they just fight reality, trying to somehow magically change the past, or maybe blaming their teachers, they just end up stuck in frustration and stagnation. But if they apply our framework, first, accept the failure. Say, yes, I failed. This is reality. Second, change their study methods and discipline. And finally, let go of the shame and that constant comparison to others. Notice how life instantly becomes lighter and so much clearer? Or consider a really difficult relationship. I think we've all tried to force someone to be who they aren't at some point, which just creates endless, painful conflict. But what if you apply the three steps? First, accept their limitations. Second, change your own communication and set really firm boundaries. And third, let go of the unrealistic expectation that they will magically become someone else. That is exactly where your peace begins.
So, what is the path to healing? For anyone watching this explainer who is going through a really difficult time right now, look, I know things feel heavy. I know it feels like everything is out of control. And it's true, some things you didn't choose, some pain you absolutely didn't deserve. But fighting reality will only hurt you more. You need to accept what you cannot change, not as a defeat, but as a sign of incredible strength. Then look at what is still in your hands, because even a tiny, small change today can slowly and beautifully rebuild everything. You are not stuck. You're just at a point where your decisions really matter.
And as you begin to heal, you really must learn to let go. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. Letting go of pain doesn't mean the past wasn't important, or that the hurt wasn't real. It simply means you refuse to let it trap you anymore. You matter way too much to stay chained to something that is already over.
Ultimately, this brings us to the path to freedom. We've journeyed all the way from the heavy weight of isolation to a completely new perspective. You see, life doesn't become easier because your external situations magically improve. It becomes easier because your internal clarity improves. When you accept, you find peace. When you change what you control, you experience growth. And when you let go of what no longer serves you, you achieve true freedom. You stop fighting everything and you finally start choosing wisely.
So imagine standing under a vast open sunrise. That heavy burden? It's gone. You have the power to choose differently, starting right today. So I'll leave you with this lingering question. Will you keep fighting reality, or will you let go and find your peace? Start small, but start honestly. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I truly hope you carry this framework with you into whatever chapter comes next.